Hi, this is Liz with Simple Italian Cooking, and today I'm going to show you how easy and simple it is to make cannellini bean soup, which is an Italian soup more known in the central and southern regions of Italy. Alright, so let's get started. These are the ingredients you need, very basic. Onions, about 2 medium onions. These are really tiny, so I'm using 3. You need some garlic. To taste, maybe about 5 medium-sized cloves. You can add some if you want. 2 cans of cannellini beans. We're going to open them and rinse them, and you're going to need some chicken broth or veggie broth if you prefer, and a little bit of some dry white wine, and you can just get whatever you can find at the store. You don't have to worry about it. And oddly enough, some lettuce here. Escarole is a really good one, so we're going to go ahead and use that. Alright, let's get moving. We got some olive oil, which is down here. We're just going to put a little bit in the pan. About 2 to 3 tablespoons. And we're going to turn that up to medium-high. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and cut the onions. You just want to chop them. Okay, so we're going to put the last bit of our onions in there, beginning to sizzle. Use my spatula to stir that around and get the onions coated so they cook down a little bit. Next we're going to go ahead and crush some garlic, and I like to roughly chop them. And let's put it in. Took us barely any time at all. And we're going to cook that. Alright, meanwhile what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open our cans of cannellini beans and rinse them. I like to rinse them because it helps take off the extra juice in there, which has a lot of sodium. So we want to reduce the sodium as much as possible because we're going to get a lot of sodium that's from the chicken broth naturally anyway. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, the onions and the garlic are looking great. I rinsed the cannellini beans, and I'm going to go ahead and just dump them right in. Give it a nice stir. And what we want to do with the cannellini beans is we really want to heat them through. Now these are already pre-cooked because they're in the cans. But if you like a little creaminess to your soup, I would recommend getting like a potato masher and mashing some of the beans down when they start getting heated through. Alright. I'm going to let that sit for about 4 minutes or so. Okay, I'm actually just mashing the cannellini beans just a little bit. Give it a stir while I do it. You can really begin to smell the cannellini beans with the onions and garlic. It's just wonderful. This is one of our favorite soups my husband and I have all the time. I make it for lunch. It's great if you do a huge batch, put some in some yogurt containers or other, freezer containers and use them on a rainy day or whenever you want some. It's great. Alright, meanwhile what we're going to do is we're going to clean up this area a little bit. Make a little bit more room, and we're going to start chopping the lettuce. Okay, I have the lettuce ready to be chopped, and I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken broth here that I use. It's actually probably a good idea to give it a shake, mix it up. You want about 4 cups. If you're concerned about the level of sodium, go ahead and maybe do 2 cups each of, broth and water or whatever you like. You want to chop the lettuce so that it's small pieces. Makes it easier to eat when it's in the soup. Now it's going to wilt considerably in the soup. You might be thinking, why would you ever put lettuce in a soup? Believe it or not, it's it actually does not alter the taste all that much. In fact, when you use escarole, it has a slight bitter taste, so combine that with everything else in the soup, and it doesn't make the soup taste bitter, it adds, I guess, another level of depth to the flavor of the soup. This is probably when a larger knife would come in handy, I would use, but this will be fine. Okay, while I'm chopping this, I need to just trim this up a tad bit, so it's want to get it to a light boil just to get things going. Okay, now I'm going to use my slotted spoon here, which I love. It's a great spoon. It's got ridges on the edge, so you can just rest it right on top. And I'm going to go ahead and add the lettuce. Once that cooks down, I'm going to add the wine. About 1/4 cup of dry white wine. Let it cook in, or cook down, however you say it. Cook it. And we'll be ready to mangiare. Okay, while that was coming to a boil and cooking down, I went ahead and cleaned up. I did a little taste test, which I always recommend when you're cooking, because it's easier to modify it while you're doing it than it is when it's already all done. I added about a little over a cup of water. I found the chicken stock flavor a little too strong for me, so I went ahead and added a cup and helped. Alright. We're going to add about 1/4 cup of the wine. Okay, the soup is just about done. Before we finish, I want to add a little bit of Romano. I put in a few teaspoons here. You can add as much as you want. We're going to sprinkle some on at the end as well when we serve it. It smells so good. So good. It's such a simple. I think it's been about 25 minutes of making this, and you don't have to wait. Alright, so we're going to push this off to the side, and we are going to just give it a stir and let it sit for about a minute. Okay, the soup is done, and we're ready to serve this. And so we're going to go ahead and get our ladle and bowl here. Let's serve it up. And remember, with this recipe, you can be as flexible as you want. I mean, if you want to add more cannellini beans and have it even more creamy, go ahead and do that. Use that potato masher and mash those beans. All right, and now we're going to sprinkle just a little bit of Romano cheese on top. I'm ready to taste. It smells wonderful. I love it. Love this soup. Bellissimo, as they would say in Italia. Well, I hope you enjoy this recipe. Remember, you can get the printed version on my website at www.simpleitaliancooking. It's there for you to use, and so please take advantage of that. And let me know what you think, and if you make any variations of it, I'd love to hear about it. Well, take care, and thank you for watching. Ciao.